I was proud of our group's approach leading up to this game. I keep on mentioning to our guys all the time, like you look across college basketball, every game's hard. And how you prepare, you got to prepare like it's the Super Bowl every single time. It doesn't matter who you're playing. I thought our guys were ready to go from the jump ball, from the tip. I thought our guys played hard. Thought our defensive intensity was really good. We were very connected on that end. Thought on the offensive end, our guys tried to make the extra pass. We knew they were going to play zone. They were going to play man. They were going to go zone press. Didn't really matter what they were in. We wanted to play paintball and then just make the right play. Obviously, Nate Johnson got us off to a heck of a start, so did Jerome Hunter from three. I thought we settled a little bit later on in that first half for too many threes as that half wore on. I thought we corrected that at halftime, got the ball a little bit more into the paint in the second half, the beginning of the second half. But again, I was just proud of our guys' approach. What I wrote up on the board beforehand, before the game, I love to watch the NBA. The Phoenix Suns have obviously won, I think it's 17 games in a row. They beat Golden State last night, and they asked Chris Paul, like, how do you guys do it, right? And his all about the approach, right? It's hard to be consistent. And the way you can be consistent is finding your identity and then playing towards that identity every single day in practice and every single game, no matter where it's at. Neutral court, away, home, doesn't really matter. It's who we have to be. I thought our guys played really hard. I thought we were the harder playing team out there on the floor tonight. I thought we were the more connected team, which is a good sign for us.
Coach, you've said many times that different guys, different nights. What do you think it's been about the offense the last two games that for whatever reason it's sort of lent itself to Nate Johnson doing his thing the way that he has?
I think he's playing with a lot of confidence, Adam. He's not doing it on a ton of shots. I mean, he had 24 points, I think, on 11 field goal attempts tonight. He's shooting the ball at an elite level. Our guys are looking for him. The games were very different, Adam. Like Virginia Tech, we held the ball a lot, and then we just kind of played ball screens to Paul at the end of the clock with him and Jack. And we knew they were going to probably trap Paul, right? And we could kind of play out of that and get Nate some shots. Tonight was way different. We knew they were going to zone. They were going to man, like I said. So our ball really moved. Good passing teams are good shooting teams. That allows players to play in rhythm. When it's choppy, when you hold on to the ball for an extra second or you dribble, one extra dribble, that throws you out of rhythm. Offense is all about rhythm, and I thought our offense as a whole played in a really good rhythm tonight.
I thought a big part of that offense was Colby Jones being assertive. And, you look at it, he only had 9 points. But I thought he was kind of all over this game. What did you make of his performance tonight coming off a missed game in New York?
I thought he was tremendous. He had 9 points, 7 assists, 6 rebounds. I think he only had 2 turnovers, played great defense. Just impacted the game in so many ways. He's like that Swiss Army knife. I mean, he does everything. He's not – I don't think he does anything poorly, when you think about his game. And he just continues to get better. And I've said this before, but it's how he approaches practice, how he approaches every single day of his life, whether it's academics. He's just very consistent, and guys that are consistent get better.
I asked Nate earlier just kind of about perimeter defense and what you guys did. We talked about it yesterday in your presser. What did you kind of take away from how you guys played on the perimeter? I mean, you held them to 3 of 18 from 3 today.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. I thought our intensity was good. We guarded the ball. We really talked about dominating that first dribble. Right, we're a pack line team. We knew pack line was going to get tested tonight because they have some quick guards. They're going to play one-on-one. They're going to try to space you out. Their big guys can shoot the ball pretty well, too. So we want to keep our defense tight, but it doesn't matter how tight your defense is if you can't guard the first dribble, the first bounce. I thought our guys did a really nice job overall of that tonight. I thought the area where we got to get better we have to talk more on screening actions, though. We got hit on too many screens, especially early on in the first half, which, again, our guys just got to communicate. You got to recognize it, and then you got to communicate it at a very high level. We got to get better in that area.
Kind of want to ask, too, so you guys forced a lot of turnovers. You had 24 points off turnovers. You've also talked a lot about scoring in transition. You guys had 16 fast break points. What does that kind of tell you about where your team's at, especially going into a big game against Oklahoma State this weekend?
It's good we're being active on the ball. I thought we're being handsy. Like, even when guys were driving the ball, it wasn't always necessarily the guy on the ball. It was the guy that was in our gap, right, would rake at the ball and did a good job of creating some turnovers and some loose ball situations. We need to do that. You got to get easy ones, right? Like, if you have to constantly play against a set defense, man, it's hard to score, especially with where scouting is in college basketball. We got all this film. We got everything broken down. We know exactly what guys do well and what they don't do well. You got to get some easy ones. So if you can score off your defense, that's advantage us.
It was only 6 minutes, but you got to see Zach Freemantle back out on the floor tonight. Hard to get a gauge of where he's at, really. But what did you think of seeing him back out there and what he did?
It's just good to get him back out there. You know, he's got a lot to learn, right? Because he's been out for so dang long. It's like you're starting a class not halfway through the semester, shoot, with 1 week left, right? Like that's kind of where he's been at this point because he hasn't practiced. He's going to get extra reps outside of practice. I thought he did some good things, had a couple nice passes. He's got to get in a rhythm. You know, again, I always say offense is about rhythm and flow and just confidence. He'll get there. I think he'll get there very quickly. Defensively, I think we got to continue to figure him out at the 4. That's one thing that I'm really, really evaluating.
And this week he's felt good on that foot getting back out there. Like he hasn't had any lingering issues or pain with that he's playing through. He feels good.
Yeah, it really can't get any worse. Adam, like he's got a screw in there. So it's just about his comfort level and his confidence level where he doesn't think about it, right? Where he can just be instinctual. I think that just takes a little bit of time. You know, there's probably certain movements that where he thinks about it a little bit more, but he'll get there. It's just about just getting reps with it and just continuing to do it and work with Dave Fluker, our trainer, and Chase Campbell, our strength coach.
You only got about 20 minutes tonight from Paul Scruggs. Was that just kind of still kind of healing from what happened with everything in New York, or?
Yeah, he got in foul trouble too. He got 2 fouls early. You know, I sat him for the rest of that half. It was just kind of the flow. I mean, we were up 2. I wanted to see what some of these other guys could do. You know, again, and just get him healthy as well.
Kind of piggybacking off that, having a night like tonight where you don't get the most out of him, but your team still executes as well as they did. What does that say to you as a coach?
We got a lot of different guys who can do it. Listen, I think Adam may have said this at the beginning of one of the questions. Like we just got different guys, different nights. I mean, he scored 24 tonight. I think he had 30 against Virginia Tech. Then you're going to have Adam Kunkel get 26, and you're going to have Jack Nunge go for 24. Then you're going to have Jerome Hunter. Then you're going to have Paul Scruggs. Then you're going to have Dewana. We have a lot of different guys that can do it, and that's the strength. We have strength in numbers. That's our advantage with our team this year, And again, I think just the unselfishness that our guys play with has to continue. But that's where we are right now, which is a good thing for us. But if we continue to do that and we take care of the ball better, we still had too many turnovers, right? It bothers me, keeps me up at night. It's probably why my hairline's going away the way it is right now. We have to take care of the ball better. And if we continue to play unselfishly, I think this team's got a chance to be a really good offensive team.
Travis, you spoke about playing to your identity with your opening statement with Chris Paul and those guys. What do you feel like Team 100's identity is 7 games into the season?
I think we fight, play hard. We're gritty. I think we leave it all out there. Loose ball, we're jumping on that thing. Like we're handsy. We're creating a lot of deflections. We're scoring a lot off of our defense. That's who we are. It's who we have to be. Defense travels and rebounding travels in our league. Offense, again, we're going to figure out the offensive end. We're going to have to kind of recreate ourselves a little bit here with Zach coming back into the fold, but we are a little bit. Listen, because I think we have to figure out how to play him along with some of these other guys, right? Because, you know, Jack's played really well on the offensive end. You know, Deontay's different than Jack. You know, how are we going to figure out all that? We'll figure out the offensive end. As long as we have that mindset defensively that we're going to fight, we got a chance to be a good team.
Does implementing Zach back into the lineup make you guys, do you think, more of an inside-out team, or do you think you guys will continue to kind of play the same style of offense you guys have played?
I think we're going to have to change some things. You know, like, Zach's not a guard. You know, he's a forward, but he's different than having maybe a Jerome at the 4 or a Colby Jones at the 4, right? And that's where, like, we're trying to put in stuff. We're starting to put in stuff for him to, like, figure out how can we maximize when he's at that position on the floor. Because I think he can be an absolute mismatch at that position. You know, just with his skill set, because he can play on the perimeter, he can post you, he can do a lot of different things out there. So, but everybody else has to know what to do when he's out there as well, right? So, I think we got to be able to play small, play big, play all the different ways. I think that gives our Team 100 a great advantage.
Did you make any progress in refining your rotation, or
Andy, I think it's hard. You know, it's like you add, I was talking to my brother today, and, because when he was the head coach at Illinois, a kid named Rayvonte Rice, who was his best player, got thrusted back into the lineup. Well, they won like 4 out of 5 games without him. And everybody's like, man, they're going to be so good when they get Rayvonte back. Yeah. Guess what? When he came back, they started losing. And they have to figure that out. And it's when you add Zach back in, who's such a big part of our team, right? I mean, he's a terrific player, as we all know. It's going to change things, right? And then it's going to take away. There's only 200 minutes. There's only one ball. We have to figure that out. And again, his minutes will continue to increase as he feels more comfortable out there on the floor. So I think those rotations, which we had kind of set, Andy, to this point, we're probably going to have to change a little bit.
Are you getting more comfortable with the 4-guard approach?
I think it's a good look for us. Colby gives us that ability to play small just with his rebounding and toughness and his versatility. Spraces the floor really well. I think that creates a lot of driving lanes out there. I think it's a good look for us for sure.
Who was the junkyard dog tonight?
Jack Nunge again. It's amazing. He just gets his hands, and he affects so many shots around the rim with his block shots, rebounding. He's a really good defender. I knew he was a really good offensive player. He's been really good on the defensive end just with his size around the rim. We're keeping him around the rim a lot more than we initially had kind of planned on, and it's been really good for us.
And I don't necessarily know that you expected this, but we've talked about it quite a bit. Like, I think he's only been back full go for maybe 5 or 6 weeks now. Are you trying to actively manage him in terms of how much he's playing? How has he held up early on in this year? Because I know there's probably been a few games where you've probably played him a little bit more than you anticipated.
Yeah, he's been really good. I mean, Jack's another guy a little bit. I mentioned how consistent Colby is just as a whole approach to life. It's Jack. I mean, Jack will be brutally honest with you. If something's wrong, he's going to tell you. He's going to be in the training room at 10 a.m. every day. He's going to do his deal. He's going to work with Coach Campbell on flexibility stuff and mobility. He's just so diligent with his process. He's had no issues at him. Obviously early on in the year, I was kind of managing those minutes, managing even practices, again, because I want to be really smart with him. Especially after he plays a lot. If he plays a lot of minutes that night before, maybe it's more of a mental day for Jack. Jack's so intelligent. He can play the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, and the 5 with all of our set plays. He doesn't get any reps doing that, but he knows them all. I mean, he's just so dang smart. He understands. He learns a lot through visualization, seeing it, and I think that can help him just continue to watch his load management. Thanks.